Arios tries to brush it off, calls the shield fake, but Mina confirms it's the real deal. Arios then spots the fairies, but Rein steps in just in time, demanding payment for his work. He knows if the world finds out fairies are roaming free, chaos could erupt. He takes his 20 gold coins and gets ready to leave. One of the guys from the hero's party, let's call him Mr. Bald Ambition, asks Rein if he wants to rejoin them. Arios instantly shoots it down, saying, "We don't need losers like him," but that loser just did what they couldn't. Now desperate, the bald guy tries to bribe Rein, offering money, fame, even glory for defeating the Demon Lord. But Rein's done looking back. He doesn't want their fake praise. As Rein walks away, his new team appears, proud to be by his side. For the first time, he feels like he truly belongs. The heroes try to save face, laughing and calling him a fool. We gave him a second chance, and he walked away. But Arios stays behind, boiling with rage. He can't stand that someone like Rein, a guy they once laughed at, has surpassed him. He makes a silent vow, "I'll ruin you." Back with the squad, they're resting under a tree. Sora asks Rein, "Is it true? Only a hero can defeat the Demon Lord?" Kanade and Tanya lean in. They want to know too. Rein smiles. "Let me tell you a story, one that started thousands of years ago. So, in the world of this story, legends speak of the first hero who made a literal blood pact with the gods. That divine blood gave him insane power, enough to take down the Demon Lord himself. People often say heroes back then were something else. Today's heroes, not so much. But the truth? Times have changed, and so have heroes. Rein, our protagonist, explains that it's the unique abilities of heroes, amplified by God's blood, that truly set them apart. Their strength knows no cap. They keep breaking their own limits and evolving. Kanade, however, isn't convinced. She feels that Arius is too weak to be called a hero. But Rein adds that strength isn't instant. It's built. That's when Sora draws a surprising comparison. Isn't Rein himself turning into a hero? I mean, the guy has tamed multiple ultimate species, which, let's be real, isn't something just anyone can do, crossing human limitations like it's a daily thing. Rein might already be halfway to hero status without realizing it. Everyone starts thinking, what if Rein is the one, the hero destined to defeat the Demon Lord? Kanade gets all excited at the thought, but Rein? He's not buying into the hype. That kind of battle isn't just a boss fight, it involves evolved beings, huge risks, and honestly, he doesn't feel ready for that kind of responsibility yet. Kanade apologizes for getting carried away, but Rein calmly replies, "It's something we might consider someday." A gentle answer from someone who knows his limits. Now with their little team growing from 2 to 5, you'd think they'd get more space, but poor Rein still gets just one room. At dinner, Tanya brings up an important point. Rein's still human. The others? All ultimate species. He seriously needs to get himself some proper gear. Rein agrees and they head to the city. For Sora and Runa, it's overwhelming. Too many humans around. That's when two familiar adventurers show up. The same guys Tanya beat up on the bridge earlier. Instead of holding a grudge, they now admire her strength. Tanya smiles and tells them to get stronger so they can have a real rematch next time. Meanwhile, Kanade is seen helping an old lady and getting gifted an apple. Runa and Sora are stunned. Despite being high-level beings, everyone's fitting in with humans like it's no big deal. But then, chaos. A group of local kids start screaming, "Rein brought home 2 more wives." Yep, kids being kids. Embarrassed, Rein tries to shut them up. Sora, blushing hard, quickly clarifies, "I'm not his wife," but the kids are relentless. One curious girl even asks if Runa and Sora are flower spirits. They look way too cute to be normal. Runa cheekily says, "We're beyond that," and nearly activates her wings to prove it. Thankfully, Rein and Sora stop her just in time. Their identities must stay secret. Soon, they arrive at the most popular weapon shop in town. And surprise, the owner is a dwarf. He's not thrilled by their shock. Apparently, dwarves aren't that rare. Rein apologizes and says they're here to buy weapons. The dwarf lets them browse freely. Runa finds a whip and jokingly suggests Rein use it to punish anyone who disobeys. Sora turns beet red, scolding her, while Rein just stands there completely confused. Safe to say he's not used to this kind of energy. Rein, staying practical, eyes a dagger, but something feels off. Right then, another customer walks in and demands the best weapon money can buy. The dwarf hands over a flashy sword, and the customer walks out satisfied. Rein, however, isn't convinced. He asks, "Was that really your best work?" The dwarf raises an eyebrow. Rein had noticed something. While the sword looked great, the craftsmanship was sloppy. And it wasn't just that one. All the weapons in the shop were just average. Impressed, the dwarf opens up. These display swords? Just his casual projects. Real masterpieces? He rarely shows those. Turns out he pours his soul into his real work, only to see people ditch those weapons when something shinier comes along. That stings. He says, money can buy materials, but not skill. He wants his creations in the hands of warriors who deserve them. Tanya totally gets it. The dwarf, feeling understood for once, warms up to the crew. He asks Rein how he could tell the difference. Turns out, as a Beast Tamer, Rein's magic is rooted in observation. The dwarf is really impressed. So impressed, he offers to forge Rein a custom weapon. But there's a catch. He's missing a critical material, methylene. Without it, he can't forge anything worthwhile. His assistant had gone to the mine to get it, but recently, nothing's coming back. Something's off. At the guild, the group learns the place is packed. Heroes are recruiting strong allies for their parties. The receptionist is clearly proud of all the buzz. But Rein? He just quietly observes. His mood a little low. Kinnaid and Tanya notice. Rein tries to keep it light and pats their heads to reassure them. The receptionist then asks about Runa and Sora, clearly curious. Runa jokes again about their deep bond with Rein, which only confuses the poor lady more. Sora steps in and gives her a reality check. Finally, Rein hands over a special letter. It's a personal request from the dwarf. He needs help investigating the mine, where methylene has mysteriously stopped showing up. Kinnaid wonders if the mines have simply been exhausted, but Rein disagrees. If that were the case, the dwarf would have known. Rein volunteers to investigate the mine himself. No payment needed. Just the chance to earn a real weapon in return. Touched by this, the dwarf promises to craft him something truly extraordinary. And with that, our crew heads off to the methylene mine, stepping into the unknown, ready for whatever challenges lie ahead. So, things are getting suspicious. Kinnaid can't figure out why everyone's hiding, and Rein has a hunch something shady is going on, possibly a bandit operation. His gut instinct proves right when he spots a bird flying in odd patterns above them. That's all Rein needs to know something's not right. Moments later, two armed men emerge, clearly expecting intruders. Rein urges the group to fight smart. They need answers, not just victory. But Kinnaid and Tanya are done holding back. They unload years of pent-up rage on the attackers, knocking them out cold before a single word is spoken. So much for subtlety. Just when it seems like the lead is lost, we learn that Sora and Runa, the adorable fairy twins, have a special ability. They can read memories. Even Rein didn't know fairies could do that. Peering into the attackers' minds, they confirm it. Rein's instincts were dead on. Bandits are indeed stealing mithril from the mine. Sora and Runa are thrilled to be helpful and even more thrilled when Rein pats their heads in appreciation. Kinnaid and Tanya? Totally jealous. But there's no time for sulking. Rein suspects there's a Beast Tamer involved, possibly the one using that bird as a lookout. Sure enough, deeper in the mine, the team is ambushed with a fire attack. Sora and Runa nullify it with their magic, then trap the enemy spellcasters. Tanya snipes down incoming arrows while Kinnaid takes down the rest hand to hand. With only the Beast Tamer left, things escalate. Turns out, this guy is furious. Once he realizes Rein was sent by Dwarf Chief Duff, he snaps and calls in his trump card, Behemoth, a B-rank monster more savage than a Shadow Knight. These things are brutally aggressive, and it likely took years of magic and effort to tame it. The tamer reveals he raised Behemoth from a pup, forming a deep bond. Behemoth's first attack nearly causes the entire mine to collapse. Rein orders Kinnaid to get everyone out while he holds the beast off. As he fights, a falling rock crushes his arm. It looks like it's over for Rein, until Kinnaid rushes back in and saves him at the last second. Regrouped, Rein crafts a plan. While he distracts Behemoth, Kinnaid should capture the Tamer. Since the monster follows only his commands, taking him down is key. They dodge another deadly attack and split up. Rein observes Behemoth's fighting pattern. Powerful, but repetitive. He launches a fire spell, but it barely scratches the beast. Kinnaid manages to subdue the Tamer, but the guy refuses to call off Behemoth. Instead, he orders the monster to go all out. That's when Rein takes a massive gamble. He attempts something nearly impossible, taming an already tamed beast. No one, not even Kinnaid, has heard of this technique, but somehow it works. Rein's magic overpowers the Tamer's bond. Behemoth starts ignoring his former master's commands. Angry and confused, the Tamer tries to force obedience, only to have Behemoth turn on him. Before things go south, Rein finishes it off with a well-aimed fireball, causing a mini explosion in the mine. After the dust settles, Rein explains, even tamed monsters still carry deep hatred for humans. They can be controlled, but not truly changed. That's why the beast went rogue and attacked its own master. Rein had no choice but to put it down. In the aftermath, we learn the bandits bought defective weapons from Duff. Their plan was pure revenge. Wreck the mine to make him pay. Duff realizes his mistake, and Rein tells him it's not too late to make it right. Inspired, Duff vows to treat his craft and customers with respect, starting by building Rein a custom weapon. Something compact and unique. Meanwhile, over in a different city, Eris is busy rejecting every adventurer candidate. He's obsessed with finding someone stronger than Rein, someone who could tame ultimate species. Mina, worried they'll never defeat the Demon Lord with these insane standards, asks him to lower the bar. Eris shuts her down with an icy glare. Turns out his real goal isn't saving the world, it's destroying Rein. And he has a mysterious black stone to help him do it. Back with Rein's team, we learn the captured bandits had their licenses revoked and are now working in jail. Rein feels bad, but the guild receptionist explains they had long criminal records. Still, Rein can't help but mourn Behemoth. Sora and Runa comfort him, reminding him that if he hadn't stopped the beast, many more lives would have been at risk. With heavy hearts but stronger bonds, the group heads out to explore the town. Kanadi and Tanya are resting back home, while Rein, Sora, and Runa discover something delicious: hot dogs. The fairies are totally baffled but delighted. Just another small joy in a world full of danger. After their latest bonding moment, Rein treats Runa and Sora to some delicious snacks. The girls love it so much that they devour it without even savoring the taste. In the middle of their munching, curiosity strikes. They want to know what kind of power Rein got after forming a contract with them. Rein, however, says he doesn't feel any new power awakening in him. That disappoints the two. They start speculating. Maybe he unlocks something ultra rare, like ultimate magic. This kind of magic is a special fairy technique that even surpasses advanced and superclass spells. Neither Runa nor Sora could master it themselves. So perhaps Rein gained access through the contract. But when they ask him if he's hearing any magical formulas in his head, Rein denies it. That hits them hard. They feel like they're useless to him. Rein quickly shuts that thought down. Power or no power, they're staying by his side. The girls can't wrap their heads around it. Why does Rein trust them so much when even their own village cast them out? They ask him straight, why keep them around when he already has powerhouses like Kanade and Tanya? Rein opens up. When Arius kicked him out of their party, he kept blaming himself, wondering if he lacked something. Truth is, he was never confident. He was always afraid of being thrown out, so he tried too hard to be useful. That's when he realized he wants to build a team where everyone trusts each other, not one that's driven by fear. And yes, he confirms with a smile, Runa and Sora are part of that team. That heartfelt moment is cut short. Runa's stomach growls again. Rein laughs and says they'll wake Kanade and Tanya for lunch. But just as they're heading out, a well-dressed stranger stops them. He tries to flirt with Runa and Sora, pushing them to be his twin settings. They reject him instantly. The man, named Adelt, gets pushy and turns threatening. Rein stands firm, but suddenly soldiers surround them. Adelt, who turns out to be the local lord's son, threatens to kill innocent townspeople unless the girls are handed over. Rein faces a tough choice. If he saves one person, others might die. Runa and Sora want to fight, but doing so would expose their identities. Rein refuses to let that happen. Instead, he starts crafting a new magic formula in his head. Fast. In an instant, he creates multiple magic circles and launches a barrage of fire attacks, knocking out the soldiers. Adelt is stunned. Defeated, he retreats, swearing vengeance. The crowd cheers for Rein's bravery, but one elderly woman quietly advises him to leave town for his own safety. Meanwhile, far away, Arius is secretly watching everything through a magical stone ring. Back at the hotel, Runa proudly tells everyone about Rein's new technique. Sora says this new power likely came from their contract. Now Rein's magic is more stable and powerful than ever. Even Tanya feels bad for being asleep during the chaos. Rein then reveals what the townsfolk shared. Adelt is notorious for kidnapping women and locking them up in his mansion. He abuses his power while the authorities look away. Tanya is furious and wants to burn his entire mansion down, but Rein urges caution. Adelt is dangerous, and they can't rush in blindly, especially now that the whole city could be a target. Rein, however, is feeling overwhelmed. He's not a hero, not someone who can save everyone. Deep down, he wants to run. Kanade senses this and gently calls him out. Tanya and the others offer support, reminding him he doesn't have to do this alone. That gives Rein the push he needs. He decides they'll protect this town. Meanwhile, Adelt and his father are already planning to cover up the incident. They even bribe Captain Gillette, leader of the town's knights, with a bag full of gold to investigate Rein instead. Adelt rings a small bell and a beast girl rushes into the room. He grabs her ear and throws her to the floor. His cruelty knows no bounds. The next day, Rein and Kanade head to the Order of Knights to file a formal complaint, but the receptionist freezes at Adelt's name. The knights show up and brush the whole thing off as a small scuffle. They threaten Rein. If he speaks out, it'll be considered defamation. Kanade is about to fight, but Rein stops her. As they leave, a mysterious girl who had been eavesdropping follows them into a side alley. Her name is Stella, the vice captain of the Order. She's seen everything and wants to talk. Turns out she already knows Rein and Kanade. They once saved the town from Evo Fangs. Stella is disgusted by what the Order has become. Most knights are now corrupt, blinded by money. But Stella still believes in justice. She wants to help Rein bring down the Lord. Kanade doesn't sense any darkness in her, so they agree to trust her. Stella warns them, though, they'll need solid proof. Without it, they'll be branded as traitors. That's when Rein suggests a bold idea. Set a trap. As the final phase of the plan begins, our heroes unite. Rein has already received his new weapon from the dwarves, and everyone is fired up. Meanwhile, trouble brews within the knights. Word has reached Captain Gillette about a secret piece of evidence that might prove Rein is in cahoots with the enemy, Lord Adelet himself. Gillette suspects it might be a trap, but he refuses to ignore it. He storms into the warehouse where the supposed proof is hidden, but the moment they enter, it's a setup. Sora and Runa seal the exits with ice, trapping the knights inside. Rein uses the dwarf-crafted weapon to take them down with ease, leaving only Gillette standing. Rein tries to finish it, but Gillette's no rookie. Just as tensions spike, Stella steps in, demanding Gillette surrender since their forces have already taken control of his base. Betrayed by his own vice-captain, Gillette is furious. He lashes out, but Stella confronts him head-on. Gillette initially overpowers her, but Stella refuses to back down. She reminds him of who he used to be, someone she once looked up to. Drawing strength from that memory, she defeats him. Meanwhile, when Adelet hears that Lecht has been captured, he explodes with rage, venting his fury on the beast girl nearby. After cooling down, he reassures himself. He still has over 100 soldiers for a counterattack. But then, a masked figure appears at his window. The masked visitor reveals Rein's shocking ability to tame ultimate species. Adelet is stunned. The masked man is actually Eris, warning Adelet that underestimating Rein will cost him everything. Eris hands him a cursed blackstone ring, capable of death with a whisper. Adelet grins like a true villain, his dark energy feeding into the ring's power. Stella and the knights arrive at Adelet's mansion, only to be blocked by guards. A massive battle breaks out. Tanya and Kanade literally blast the mansion gates apart. From his perch above, Adelet laughs maniacally, convinced he can kill Rein and then enslave the ultimate spirits for himself. Meanwhile, Rein, Sora, and Runa sneak into the mansion through a hidden path to rescue the prisoners. Runa uses her material sensing magic to track the flow of energy and find them. But suddenly, she senses something overwhelming, an incredibly powerful magical presence. It's another ultimate species. Rein tells the girls to teleport the captives to safety while he investigates. Sora doesn't want to leave him, but Rein gently tells her this is something he has to do alone. He doesn't have teleportation magic, unlike Runa and Sora. But if they stay, their secret, that they're fairies, will be revealed. Rein apologizes, but they reassure him and agree. Runa even teases that if he doesn't come back in one piece, there'll be consequences. Rein follows the immense magic trail to a dark cell. Inside, he finds a frightened girl with animal ears and a tail. She's no ordinary creature, she's a demigod. Rein breaks the cage open and gently heals her wounds, earning her trust. She tells him her name is Nina and clings to him, grateful and emotional. We learn Nina once lived happily with kind people in her temple, until Adelet showed up. When he tried to touch her, a protective shield shocked him. Furious, he threatened innocent children to break her will. To save them, Nina agreed to wear a cursed slave collar, which bound her to Adelet. He tortured her, believing that owning a demigod made him godlike. Back in the present, Rein is heartbroken after hearing her story. He tries to remove the collar, but Nina warns it's dangerously cursed. Rein insists. As he analyzes the collar, he realizes the only way to break it is with the overbright technique. It's risky, but Rein uses it anyway, taking massive magical damage. Nina cries, begging him to stop, saying her life isn't worth his pain. But Rein gently says, even if no one else cares, I do. He pours every ounce of strength into one final burst and shatters the collar. Exhausted, Rein collapses. Elsewhere, Tanya and Kane wipe out most of the knights with minimal effort. The remaining ones plan to use the captives as human shields, but Tanya and Sora hit them with a devastating multi-shot spell, ending the threat. They reveal the prisoners are already safe, and now there's nothing holding them back. Outside, even Adelet's father is panicking. Adelet tells him to escape while he burns the evidence and makes his move. Rein, now carrying Nina, reunites with his friends, but the ultimate species aren't thrilled to see him holding another girl. Rein nervously tries to explain, but turns out they're just teasing. Sora and Runa had already sensed Nina's presence. Stella reminds everyone, it's not over yet. They still need to capture Lord Adelet and his father. Just then, they spot the Lord fleeing with bags of stolen money. Rein uses his golem to catch him easily. But Adelet, watching everything from above, snaps. He activates the Blackstone Ring, summoning a monstrous Death Reaper that strikes Rein down. No one can stop it. Aris watches from the rooftop, smirking as he walks away, convinced Rein is dead. But plot twist, Rein is totally fine. Turns out, the technique he got from Sora allowed him to use multi-shot and the one from Runa, magic nullification. With magic attacks now useless against him, Rein rises again. Adelet is shocked. The man he thought was dead is standing, angrier, stronger, and more determined than ever. And the real showdown? It's just getting started. Just when things seem to settle, Aris's ring begins to glow ominously. A strange purple smoke leaks out and starts devouring everything in sight, just like it once consumed Adelet's entire body. Rein immediately senses something's wrong. He blasts the smoke with his biggest fireball yet, but it does nothing. Instead, the smoke forms into a cocoon, and from within, a powerful demon emerges. Rein freezes. It's that demon, the one who destroyed his entire village. But strangely, the demon doesn't attack. It simply vanishes into the sky, likely heading toward the city. Rein knows exactly what that means. More lives are at risk, but he hesitates. Not because he's afraid to fight, but because he fears his friends will jump in to help, putting themselves in danger. He looks back and sees everyone smiling at him. No words needed. They're with him. Rein nods, entrusting Stella with protecting the city, and asks Nina to retreat to safety. Then, he heads off after the demon. Meanwhile, the demon is wreaking havoc across the town. Rich or poor, no one's safe. Watching humans scramble like ants actually amuses the creature. That's when Kane strikes from behind, knocking it momentarily to the ground. Seeing Rein and the team, the demon laughs, mocking them. In a hurry to die? Rein responds with quiet determination. We're not here to die. We're here to finish what you started. Kanade and Tanya launch fierce attacks, Tanya even using her tail. Rein traps the demon with his shackles, but nothing works. It's like hitting a wall. Turns out Rein's stalling for time. Sora and Runa are charging a powerful spell, Flash Impact. It hits hard, shaking the battlefield. But the demon just chuckles. That tickled. Then things escalate. The demon summons a swarm of wild monsters. But for ultimate species like Rein's team, it's like swatting flies. Still, the demon can summon them endlessly. Kane gets so caught up fighting the minions that she forgets who the real threat is. The demon lands a brutal blow on her. Tanya sees it and snaps. She unleashes her dragon's breath in rage. Meanwhile, Rein and Ferris rush to heal Kanade. Tanya clashes with the demon, but even she is eventually knocked back. When Rein rushes to check on her, she blushes. Even in battle, there's still room for emotion. But the city isn't safe yet. The demon starts unleashing destruction again. Rein attacks with everything he has, but the demon mocks him. That's all you've got? Sora and Runa step in again, buying them a moment. Rein powers up Tanya and Kane, and they launch a full assault. Ferris throws in a judgment blast, launching the demon into the air, and Kane finishes with a thunderous kick. Still, it barely flinches. This time, the demon summons flying monsters too, but it doesn't attack, it retreats. Rein grows desperate. If this thing escapes, it'll be the end of the city. Tanya tries to stop it, but the flying beasts shield it, sacrificing themselves. The demon disappears. Rein is frustrated. No matter what they do, people are still in danger. That's when Sora and Runa suggest teleporting the townspeople to safety. Rein hesitates. He fears exposing their identities, but they remind him that their cover was blown ages ago, back when they saved the kidnapped civilians. Eventually, Rein agrees. Meanwhile, Mina from the hero party informs her squad about the demon's attack. The bald guy wants to help, but Eris shuts it down. That's not our mission. We only take on the demon lord. His reasoning doesn't sit well with them, but no one argues. After all, who dare defy the hero himself? But deep down, Eris has his own motives. This demon is part of his plan. Back in town, Sora and Runa explain their teleport strategy to Stella. She's all in, rallying the townsfolk. Nina, though, wonders. Did she make the right choice? Kinnaid and Tanya continue clearing paths through waves of monsters, but there's no end in sight. And to make matters worse, the townspeople are hesitant. They still don't trust fairies. Then a familiar face steps forward. The hot dog vendor Rein and Runa once visited. He asks if they liked his hot dog. They smile and compliment it, and that's all the reassurance he needs. Trust earned. Seeing him take the leap, the rest of the townsfolk follow. Even the performance crew joins in to help. We see Gil managing supplies and Dwarf crafting weapons for the final stand. Everyone's playing a part. Sora guards the portal. Runa keeps the monsters at bay. Nina watches it all and asks herself, everyone's risking their lives for me. Is standing back really the right choice? She makes her decision and vanishes. Elsewhere, Rein is trying to tame a monster but can't get close enough. Tanya can't fly him in. The flying beast won't let her. Teleport magic? It takes prep time. What they need is instant teleportation. Right then, Nina appears and hugs Rein. Let me help. Tanya and Kinnaid remember. Demigods have a unique ability that ultimate species lack. Instant teleportation. Rein asks if she can get him to the demon. Nina nods. But before they can move, a massive army of monsters approaches. No choice. Rein grabs Nina and runs toward the threat. The demon tries to stop them with a devastating attack. A massive explosion shakes the area. But Nina's teleport not only saves them, it puts them right in front of the demon. He's stunned. They move like wind, teleporting again and again. The demon can't escape. Still, he scoffs. A human? You think you can tame me? Rein powers up with multi-boost, and with one final teleport launches the taming strike. The dark energy starts to overwhelm him, but the faith of everyone behind him gives him strength. He taps into Overbright once more, taming the demon's entire army. Ironically, it's his own monsters that destroy him. As he fades, the demon asks for the name of the warrior who defeated him. Rein just walks away. Nina, exhausted, collapses mid-air. Both she and Rein plummet, until Tanya catches them just in time. 3 days later, we see the city rebuilding. Stella has officially been named the new captain of the Order of Knights, and with that, a new chapter begins. 3 days after the chaos, a sense of calm begins to return. But there's still a lingering question. Where did Nina come from, and why is she really here? Turns out Stella has been secretly trying to uncover Nina's village, but with no luck so far. When Nina hears this, her heart sinks a little. Still, later, Nina makes a surprising request. She wants to officially become part of Rein's family. Rein hesitates. With all the contracts he's made, he doubts he can form another one, especially with a demigod. But the way everyone stares silently at him says it all. He gets the message and agrees. Rein initiates the taming process. It works. Nina is now part of their party, and she beams with happiness. Afterward, the group heads to the guild. A major announcement awaits. The Knights and the Guild will now collaborate to protect the city, and it's all thanks to Rein. His bravery in revealing the truth about the noble's son and defeating the demon earns him a promotion from rank E to rank C. As always, Rein downplays his role, which earns him a playful smack from Tanya. Would it kill you to give yourself some credit? The Guild also plans to give Rein a hefty reward, and now that his family has grown, he needs a bigger space. The receptionist recommends buying a house instead. It sounds like a good idea, so they start browsing. But every house they see is either too small, too shady, or just plain boring, until one surprisingly perfect house appears. It's huge, cozy, and cheap. Suspiciously cheap. The team instantly suspects something's off. The receptionist hesitates, then admits the house is rumored to be haunted. Kinnaid hates ghosts. But a house this perfect? They can't pass it up, so they decide to investigate. The inside is dark, creepy, and eerily silent, until Nina sneezes and nearly gives Kinnaid a heart attack. As they explore, things start to get weird. Objects move on their own. A chilling voice whispers, "Leave this place!" Suddenly, a ghost girl materializes. Not a terrifying monster, but, well, a hot ghost girl. She purrs, "I'm home alone tonight." Runa and Sora try exorcism magic. No effect. Their backup plan? Too dangerous. It might blow up the entire house. The team's goofy antics start annoying the ghost. She yells at them to leave, but Tanya observes something curious. The ghost hasn't actually attacked anyone. Could it be she can't hurt them? Busted. The ghost is shocked they figured it out. Then she notices Kinnaid trembling and decides to have a little fun. She tries to spook her even more, but ends up unleashing a monster. Kinnaid, in a frenzy, lashes out with insane strength. Her fear overrides her limits, and she literally attacks the ghost. The ghost freaks out and tries to flee, but Runa and Sarah seal the exits. Tanya calms Kinnaid down, and once she comes to, she doesn't remember a thing. With no other option, the ghost tries to possess Rein. Bad move. He blocks her midair. Turns out, Rein learned a bit about spirits back in his village. The ghost is stunned. How could he do that with such limited knowledge? Rein doesn't attack. Instead, he gently asks who she is. Surprised by his kindness, she introduces herself as Tina. 30 years ago, she was a maid in this very house, but her employer turned out to be a monster, one who ended her life. She awoke as a ghost, and has been stuck here ever since. Rein doesn't see her as a threat. He actually thanks her for being the reason they could afford such a great house. He invites her to stay. Tina is taken aback, but Tanya reassures her that's just who Rein is. If you're with us, you're family. The group welcomes her with open arms. Tina, overwhelmed, agrees to stay. Rein heads back to the guild and signs the paperwork. The house is officially theirs. And just like that, Rein becomes a legal citizen of the town. Meanwhile, the so-called hero party strolls into town asking for free rations, but the shopkeepers aren't having it. When the city was in danger, these heroes were nowhere to be seen. Eris loses his temper and wrecks a vendor's stall, storming off in a rage. The townspeople mock them. "You guys are a joke. That Beast Tamer did more than you ever did." Back with Rein and Kinnaid, they're returning from a market run. Kinnaid races ahead and says with a smile, "Welcome home!" Rein's heart swells. Inside, everyone is waiting for them. They all sit down together, laughing, eating, sharing stories. Rein looks around and tears up. Kinnaid notices. "Are you okay?" He wipes his eyes and says, "Just hungry." And with that, the first season closes. Not with a bang, but with warmth, laughter, and a chosen family that's stronger than fate itself.